Assalamu alaikum, dear students. उम्मीद थी कि टेस्ट हम खुश भी हो टाइम बखर मैनेज हुई अक्सर मसला द टाइम भी और या द एमसीक्यू मसले ओवरऑल चमा टेस्ट को तो नो दरटे पर दुमर सनिश्ता या जब दावम चे 90% या द रेनम ज़ियाद अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह देखा कॉन्सेप्चुअल टेस्ट रावल और चिचाम लग दर कॉन्सेप्ट क्लियर यू नो उम्मीद है समझ खा बेहतरीन टेस्ट कौन करी लक्ष्य दर सर डिस्कस कौन दा माँ तो खुदा से शॉर्ट फॉर्म के मिलाओ दे फिलहाल कंप्लीट मिलाओ में दे उबियाम जमा ट्राई बेस्ट जिस तरह से एमसीक्यू दर सर शेयर कम लग मुश्किल या मत अक्सर स्टूडेंट्स मैसेज के चे देख ऑप्शंस के सर ज़्यादा से यू नो यो एमसीक्यू दे चे इंट्रिंसिक फैक्टर secreted by the parietal cell is essential for digestion. Kamam uburu stomach के parietal cell the intrinsic factor release के नवेदा द सदर पारा ज़्यादा प्रकार के मुख्तलिफ ऑप्शंस इधर तवर के लिए करेक्ट ऑप्शन है द intestine के absorption of vitamin B12 करो absorption of vitamin B12 मतलब था B option मास्टर ठीक है activation absorption of vitamin B12 in intestine. द्वयम एमसीक्यू दे द डेल्टा सेल या डी सेल इन आइलेट्स ऑफ लंगरहान कुम सिक्रेशन वर्क है कुम हार्मोन सिक्रेट के आसान दे सोमेटोस्टेटिन हार्मोन रिलीज की ग्रेन नंबर एमसीक्यू दे आइडेंटिफाई द मेन फंक्शन ऑफ ड्यूरिन एब्जॉर्प्शन के वाटर एब्जॉर्प्शन की बाइलम वर्तराजी खो मेन फंक्शन इधर लगता ना डाइजेशन ऑफ फूड सी ऑप्शन ठीक है MCQ number 4 then which stage of the swallowing process prevent food or liquid from being aspirated to the lungs मतलब अगर कम यो स्टेज दे द swallowing चे liquid या food lungs तक नशीक में नो pharyngeal stage जैसे कि चे pharynx तराशी नो अलता reflex section उशी epiglottis glottis बन की respiratory tract बन शो खुराक के liquid नशी अंदर के लिए Exam number MCQ, which type of nephron is responsible for the development of osmotic gradient in the renal medulla? Already among the case nephron will do juxtamedullary or cortical. The juxtamedullary is zyada RNA loop of hand portion of renal medulla. The avevajana mainly osmotic gradient cherazi, solute gradient cherazi medulla can buy mainly. Juxtaglomerular nephron involvement. Which of the following best describe how the distal convoluted tubule contribute to the regulation of blood pH in the body? Cum this phenomena that blood pH maintains circulation. Now option होती है main option का के लिए active secretion of hydrogen ions into the filtrate. Mainly the last step tubular secretion के active secretion की the hydrogen ion और the glomerular filtrate सरा मिलाओ शो गया अब the body in relation मतलब pH maintain सर्कलों की active secretion की गई hydrogen ion into the filtrate so B option is the correct. The sodium potassium pump and the distal convoluted tubule are activated by digestion. Sodium potassium pump activation sodium reabsorption increase के दल the totally aldosterone पर depend करता है पूरा system दे angiotensin, angiotensin, aldosterone system. तो इन्हों पर कि main the sodium reabsorption that aldosterone. So correct option is aldosterone. If a person drink excessive amount of water, how does the kidney respond? कचरे मंगू बस यार कुनो kidney में सर response आती. No, अवल को बज़मों ADH secretion decrease यो डाले ना बदमों excess water excretion यानी more urination बस start हो. Now excess water by the body release so the option is C. Decrease ADH release and increase water excretion. 9 number MCQ the primary function of the glomerular capillary is this. मुख्तलिफ option the glomerular capillary secrete. So correct option is here. The C the filtration of blood from glomerular filtrate. Mainly blood filtration की glomerular filtrate के filter की जुदा की. So C is the correct option. Filtration of blood from glomerular filtrate. In a heat stroke, the hypothalamus will detect an increase in core body temperature. Which of the following responses trigger? Actually, body temperature there high show. No hypothalamus most probably common phenomenon of body के नो vasodilation होगी और सरस्वेटिव होगी चले देखो मदद से body temperature वापस नॉर्मल. Number 11 MCQ, which nitrogenous waste has the lowest solubility in water? ज़ाहिर खबर maximum solubility ammonia, moderate urea और the total nakama uric acid. 1 ml per carb the 1 gram per. By nature, human excretory system is dash. Zamung excretory system by nature so the 12 MCQ de no da ureotelic mung urea kharij. Hyperparathyroidism may lead to the formation of dash ke chata hyperparathyroidism mushno matlab da che parathormone baziyat che parathormone demineralization ki calcium ziyad calcium phosphate form baziyat jodi so a option is the correct. In somatic cell hybridization, which two cells are fused to produce monoclonal antibody? With mechanism of B cells or spleen cells that are fused. B lymphocyte and spleen cells. So correct option is B. B lymphocyte and spleen cell. In molecular diagnosis, the primary function of the DNA RNA probes. Now, for detail will DNA RNA probes. The detection the disease, the diagnosis the thus it binds to specific DNA or RNA sequences for identification or diagnosis. So correct option is B, bind to the specific DNA or RNA sequence for identification. A set of uniform proteins generated by the genetically identical immune cells monoclonal antibody. So correct option is C. Which biotechnological product is used to replace an abnormal gene in a patient cell? Homeostasis is used for chamundale pamadad sara abnormal gene correct gene placed. So correct option is vector. In Watson correct DNA model, which of the following pair will pair with cytosine? So correct option is guanine asan the guanine pairing. Fats are considered as a very efficient source of energy because fats nuclear dairy energy double amount of energy the chata generate multiple acetyl groups or acetyl group acetyl coenzyme A jodi ki chala enter Krebs cycle to the one acetyl coenzyme with fatty pair. So correct option is D, generate multiple acetyl groups. The junction between two conjunctive neuron neuron junction jodi the synapse. Correct option is B, synapse. All of the following are the function of Golgi body. Total function is the processing of protein plasma membrane formation physical glycoprotein lysosome formation of so cellular respiration because it is the function of mitochondria. So C is the correct option. Which ion is 10-fold or 10 times higher? No. Sodium 10 times higher or potassium 10 times higher the inside. So correct option is sodium. All of the following are the modes of transmission of AIDS except the total body keep shaking with hands, shaking hands with infected person. The sexually transmitted they are through blood they are sharing infected needles. So correct option is shaking hands with infected person. Which organelle of the cell is involved in the detoxification of toxins? So correct option is smooth endoplasmic reticulum. Already well mentioned class MCQ Sunday test smooth endoplasmic reticulum. The active site is important in enzyme action because what is the substrate of this? So A option is the correct. It binds to the substrate. The idea that acquired character are inherited. The cumulative phenomena of evolution की chain acquired character को transfer की Lamarckism mula transfer acquired character should be natural selection based on the Darwinism. So here is Lamarckism. 27 MCQ, which disease is caused by the enveloped virus? Enveloped virus flu. Polio non-enveloped, hepatitis non-enveloped. So correct option is flu virus. Enveloped. The glycoproteins are commonly found in dish mitochondria. Their general MCQ preservation of mitochondria membrane chloroplast altan da موجود خود the correct option be a plasma membrane, correct, as which are the glycoprotein. Which structure enables the exchange of material? No, the nuclear pores. For 29 k nuclear pores, the CH level exchange. The high specific heat capacity of water is due to most perfect hydrogen bonding. Zagache hydrogen bonding pake two actual hydrogen bonds with potential hydrogen bond. So correct option is hydrogen bond. The contracted region of a chromosome that attached to the spindle fibers. The chromosomal come use spindle fibers were attached to a kinetochore microtubule centromere. C option centromere. Touching a sharp object stimulate pain receptor. This phenomenon is carried to the central nervous system dilation. Tamam information CNS covered that the unipolar neuron called the sensory neuron. So sensory neuron is also the correct option. B, sensory neuron. The number of chromosomes in a haploid cell, half the number in a normal body cell. Check normal cell the pi ke 2 se to half. So A option is the correct. Half of the chromosome in a normal body cell. Which of the following is a branch polysaccharides? Glycogen. Jakache amylose starch there for the unbranched. The cellulose unbranched chitin. So correct option is B, glycogen. A substance that binds to an enzyme but not at the active site and reduces the enzyme activity is called dash. Agar come you inhibitor which are active site that is ignore competitive for the which active site the not is so non-competitive inhibitor. C option is the correct. On the basis of morphological classification, influenza virus is dash. Morphological base influenza virus polyhedral hedronum or polyhedronum or another correct option to polyhedral capsid virus. B option is the correct. On the basis of morphology, the envelope is which of the following is not a globular protein? Enzyme, the albuminum, the hemoglobinum, the so collagen, the fibrous. The state when a neuron is not conducting an impulse during resting membrane potential, the state of easily polarized. It's the positive with the negative, so polarized. Which of the following waves travel along a neuron during the nerve impulse? Electrochemical of definition. Reticular formation, a reticular system in the brain runs through dash. Reticular system of nature, the midbrain period, mainly running through brain stem. No brain stem ke sarazi, midbrain razi, pons razi, or medulla oblongata razi. No matlab अब द ऑप्शन स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड है पर अगर इस दैट चलते हैं ना पर ब्रेन स्टेम के लिए पर ब्रेन स्टेम के मिड ब्रेन पोन्स और मेडुला नो पोन्स और मेडुला हैंड ब्रेन शो मिड ब्रेन नो दैट वाज द करेक्ट ऑप्शन वाज हैंड ब्रेन एंड मिड ब्रेन सो करेक्ट ऑप्शन इज बी हैंड ब्रेन एंड मिड ब्रेन एंजाइम्स इंक्रीजेस द रेट ऑफ रिएक्शन बाय डैश लोअरिंग एक्टिवेशन एनर्जी बी ऑप्शन इज द करेक्ट A diabetic patient is advised to avoid both sucrose and lactose. के पदवालों की ग्लूकोज दोनों का हाइड्रोलाइज the glucose level will increase. So B is the correct option. Easily match the correct structure of the brain with its function. Medulla breathing, yes, but the correct is the pons memory na, cerebellum dreaming na, midbrain balance na. That correct pairing the medulla or breathing. Living cells do not directly acquire energy release from the breakdown of the food. यानी पर metabolism के जितना direct energy release की जमीन से लगा direct energy नहीं उसकी बल्कि होंगे ATP form था change could be useful. Now with that one the energy release is too large leading to heating and wastage. No मतलब दुमरा ज़्यादा energy चाहूँ पे direct जमीन से use की no damage रहती है ज़्यादा wastage of energy रहती है. Correct option is D. D यानी the energy release is too large leading to heating and wastage. That would be correct option. Which property of water is enabled to circulate in living bodies and act as a transport medium? Cohesion or adhesion. The water that they like each other, तमाम living mediums के circulation movement की पर continuous काम के molecule to molecule जो दवा ले बना रहा है due to cohesion और that movement के ना the surface attached काम की movement के ना मतलब cohesion or adhesion बेहतरीन option दिशा the property of ball work. Scientists cut the tail of mice. The Mungwillow August was mainly experiment करो चे the tail cutting it करो और वे कतल 20 generation कोरिश correct करना transfer करो. तो पदे बाद कुम यो concept खत्म शेव या reject शेव नले markism acquired correct करना transfer की नले markism C option. How are the phospholipid molecules arranged in the plasma membrane? Head outside the tail inside the head hydrophilic towards water or tail hydrophobic away of the water. No, correct option is hydrophilic head face outward and the hydrophobic tail face inward. No. C option. Next MCQ there. The constant diameter of the DNA is maintained by dash parent. Purines, pyrimidines, adenine, the thymines, or guanine, the cytosines. So A option is the correct. Purines towards pyrimidine. Identify the correct option that match the sugar with its carbon. Long statement, its carbon number and functional group. First option is glyceraldehyde. Triose को देखो ketose ना देना मतलब सिर्फ गलत option है. B option ठीक जकर ribose pentose or aldose हम दे aldehyde group हम दे पक्के ना. Correct option is B, ribose pentose aldehyde group. The correct option. The correct sequence of events in a reflex arc is dash. पर reflex arc के सभी नो receptors दी, sensory neuron दी, associative neuron दी, motor neuron दी, और effector था खबर रशी. No, C option is the correct. 52 MCQ दे. Fertilization normally occur in dash. Fallopian tube या fallopian tube के fallopian tube के दापर ampulla part की. Which cell of the fallopian tube moisten and nourish the ovum? The among will pick cell or they will non-ciliated epithelial cell. No, non-ciliated epithelial cell is the correct option. Which of the following is not the accessory gland of human male reproductive system? Come you know, bulbourethral gland accessory there. Corpus glandum or the seminal vesiculum, the prostate glandum. So correct option is test is the accessory gland. Syphilis is caused by what kind of bacteria? The cum bacteria caused. So correct option is spirochete. Spirochete bacteria caused. Coccidia, bacillus, the viral syphilis is caused by spirochete bacteria. What is false about the cartilage? Cartilage वगैरह के कुम्यो false. The cells are called chondrocytic. They consist of type 2 collagen. They heal very slowly down till they have an extensive blood supply. That गलत है जैसे non-vascular. So D option is the false option. Bones provide a rigid framework within or within an inorganic matrix of base. मतलब bone your strong structure जोड़े, rigid structure जोड़े. देखिए inorganic portion already the book में रखा है 65%. D option. Next MCQ an important feature of the bone remodeling is bone breakdown. चिकलम bone remodeling की देश सारा चिकलम bone दा हद नज़िया चीज़ वापस दाने breakdown मतलब जमीन को proper shape के bone वापस जोश. The breakdown of the bone so कि नदासल की bone dissolution दा मंगल bone demineralization. For the main function of osteoclast, then the correct option is C. Osteoclast. Myofibril consists of a small contractile unit called dash. Myofibril is small contractile units. That come the sarcoplasm, sarcolemma, sarcoplasmic reticulum, sarcomere. So correct option is sarcomere. The contraction की जो है मदद से जमीन muscle fiber contraction की जो है muscle correct option is sarcomere. Which muscle type is under conscious control zone पे इख्तियार किया and it's multinucleated. No, यो muscle is multinucleated जो है skeletal muscle. So correct option is B. Which part of the sarcomere contains both actin and myosin filament? Already पढ़ा diagram में show करो. आगे जेज चल actin और myosin filament यानी thick thin filament वाले बना दा हम value जब कम से कम overlapping की गई thick thin filament दा A value या मुंगरता dark band value. No, correct option is A and C. The primary role of calcium ions in muscle contraction is to bind with troponin. Mainly calcium, the 10 filaments are attached to the 10 filament, the troponin are attached to ATP, the thick filaments are attached to, bind with troponin. Correct option is B. Which of the following is an example of a fibrous joints? Commutamum fibrous joints for you. So correct option is skull joints. The fibrous joints more the sutures and the capacity. Which of the Mendel law can best explain why a child may inherit a brown eyes even if one parent is blue eyes. मतलब دا کوم لادا چې په let's suppose the parents یو parent یو سترګې دی blue بل black دی او دا غیر باوجود هم یو کریکټر ترانسفر شي مطلب یا blue ترانسفر شي یا black دا کوم لادا نو ظاهر خبره ده of dominance یو پکې recessive کریکټر پاتې شي بل پکې dominant پاتې شي. What is the significance of the 9:3:3:1 ratio in a dihybrid cross? It demonstrates that traits assort independently. मतलब law of independent assortment da muntawai چې کوم pair of alleles دي the traits د پاره نه independently د یو بل نه جدا کېدي شي. So correct option is B.